Hey there, March 14th, 2026. Got the 5x8 camper build here with a little progress report. Been working on it off and on for the last couple days. Got a few things done. Went ahead and painted the fenders. But before I painted them, I mocked them up. See if I can post a picture of them on there. They actually look really good. And I wiped them down with lacquer thinner, got the mill scale off of them, and then I shot some paint on there. I think they look good, and I've been trying to get ahead here, thinking about the electrical system, and went ahead and pre-wired some things. This right here, it's a amber clearance light. I got one on the front here, top, and then I went ahead and got the red rear, just like you're supposed to have. Got one over there too, hanging. So we'll have 4 around the top, and the tail lights will be down here for clearance on the side. We'll talk about the tail lights in a minute. And also, I'm going to go ahead and put some lower amber ones. This is the wire pre-wired for it right here. So I'll have a lower one right next to this step. And what I think is a cool idea is for the main door, the main entry, I've got 2 lights pre-wired in here. And one of them will be about right here. And then this one will be right here. And for the doorway right here, I'll actually have 2 amber lights down below. Now, how am I going to control that? Well, I've been studying on this, and I needed a diode to prevent the house battery from backfeeding through the tail light plug into the vehicle. But I still want to use the house battery to supply power, not to the tail lights, but to these clearance lights, which I've got up here and over by the door and up top too. So I got to thinking about that. I did some research. I found these little dudes here. If you see that right there, it says 2 in. Let's see if it'll focus, and 1 out. So what you do is you have the house battery coming in on one of these with a switch, and then you have the tail light power wire coming in from the 7-way RV plug, and then going out you go to the light. I ordered 4 of those. I think it was like $12. So what'll happen is I'll have my switch inside the doorway. If I remember right, the door swings this way, so I'll put the switches right here, and I'll have a switch for things like the lights, these clearance lights, which will provide some subtle campsite lighting. And then I'll have a light for the hatch back here. It'll pop up like so. I'm waiting on the hurricane hinge to come before I build it, but it'll pop up like this. And so there'll be a light hanging 3 feet out or so to light up the back area. May have a light up here too at the same time. There'll be a cabin light, maybe on the wall or something. Reading light, something that you can see by but not too bright and harsh. There'll be a cabin fan, which I've been debating on what to do with that. And I'll update you on that here after a while. Not today. But the install for this is I want these subtle lights to light up the opening for the door, and I don't want it to run off the car battery, and I don't want the house battery on the trailer powering up the parking lights on the tow vehicle if it's still connected. I have not decided what to do about these on the side. These are kind of bright, so the rear May just have these right here up top lighting up. I don't know yet. I've got the tank installed, strapped down, got the pump installed. I've cleaned up all of the tubing from the pop-up camper. I've bead blasted some of the fittings here. I've got more fittings there. These are 3/8. The fittings are not available at a plumbing supply house, Lowe's, or anywhere like that. I had to order the rings. Let me show you the rings. I had to order them off of Amazon. So that's the 3/8 rings for RVs. So I've got this kind of mocked up here to show where the city water comes in and how this connects to the pump. The pump, by the way, acts as a check valve so that the city water does not flow back into your storage tank. So I've been pre-wiring that, worked on the tail lights. I got these, I don't know, several years ago, and I pulled them out, forgot I even had them, and they actually work great right on top of this step. I got stainless fasteners that I'll paint black, and here's one with the light. This is the tag side. I'm going to have to figure out how to do this tag. May have to notch it to go in there, but you can see the fasteners here on the side, and they'll have fasteners going back into that, holding the tag on, and it'll also hold this. I've tested them, powered them up with my 12-volt battery. It works great. They're bright. Brake lights work. So we got that. Also went ahead and started working on the propane tank install, the bracket. I found this tank laying around. It's probably 40 years old. Doesn't even have the new style threaded top here like you see for this. It's just got the old school left-handed thread inside deal. So I went out to the pop-up frame, cut these brackets off. I had saved these. It's for four of these, 2 for each tank, and I went ahead and drilled holes in here. I welded it on, painted it. Looks like the paint's cracking like in a serious way. Not sure what's going on with that, but these 3 will definitely hold it, a tank going down the road. So that's nice and sturdy. I've got my Sidewinder jack laying around here somewhere. I'm going to take this jack off, put the Sidewinder on. That'll be done. I will order a shock for this right here. See how it doesn't stay up. It's 11 inches from pin to pin, fully extended. So this is going to house my battery and some of the electrical components. I broke out my 7-way plug. It actually has a distribution box. So what I'm going to do is run a ground wire from this distribution box, and I'll run it to the frame up here. But I'm also running, if you notice, 2 wires for all of these clearance lights. Every one of them's got 2 wires, and that is the ground and the hot. And I'm going to wire it all back to the tow battery or the tow vehicle ground, and also for the 12-volt system for the house battery. I'll wire it all the way back to the battery and to the frame, so it'll blow a fuse if something shorts. Been pretty busy. I ordered a camper portable water heater, and I was originally going to hang it on this side, but decided that if we're cooking on this side and we're going to hang the stove here, the water heater anywhere on this wall is going to be really in the way. So I decided, why not put it over on this side. I've got the spare tire here that's 16 inches off of this center, so I can probably hang the water heater out here, or I may be able to permanently hang it on the inside if I come lower and put a fan up here to exhaust the gas Depends on how hot it gets when it runs. So I've been studying on that. I've got the door spacers in here to frame up the rear hatch. I'm waiting on the hinge to come before I really go any further. I'm going to frame it up out of 1.5 by 1.5 rip down 2x4s. And I'll have this big gap here. I'll have plenty of room for weather stripping on this backing plate. When I get the hinge in, I'll put a backing plate across the top so that I can weatherproof that. I've got the the field connector for this. I'll go ahead, once I put the first piece of siding on, I will install that. This is the new one. And that will be finished. I'm going to order a new one of these. This one's kind of half rotten. This is city connection. And I think I need a outdoor hose bib somewhere. Maybe somewhere to run a water hose. So if I run my city connection and connect it to the camper, well, then I won't have another connection to run a water hose. Now, whatever the source of that is, I could put this splitter on there and have it. We'll see. I've got 2 pressure reducing devices here. And you know, I have hooked up the city water before, and it was super high pressure. If you're not careful, it'll start blowing stuff apart in your camper. So moving along, trying to get ahead of things, pre-wire, trying to map out everything. The propane has not been fully vetted yet because I've got it back to here for the stove, but I have not fully vetted it for the water heater. And if it's going to go on the water heater, I'll need to run a line across back here, protect it, and then connect up to wherever the water heater connects. So that's it for today. Tomorrow's a big day. It's my birthday. And I was hoping to use this spring around this time, but it has not happened. But that's okay. Having a good time building it. And I look forward to, when it is finished, I look forward to the good times we're going to have.